February 17th, 1976. This is Ronald Portman, and I have a song written by Vincent Youmans. The title, Without a Song. Without a song, the day would never end. Without a song, the road would never bend. When things go wrong, a man ain't got a friend.
Above earth's lamentation, I hear the real, the far-off hymn. It hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest loudly roars? I hear the truth it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake mine inmost calm, while to the rock I'm clinging. Since love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing?
This is a story about my father, Ronald Portman. He's a singer with a big bass voice. And because the story is true, you're not going to learn much about his career as a professional singer. And my dad, he wouldn't tell you much about his personal life. He's not one for chit-chat. To get to know my father, you must have a singing lesson with him. Or you can come with me, we'll go to Little Falls, New York, sit in the living room late at night, and we'll have a quiet conversation with Dad before he goes to bed. Or, best yet, I'll tell you a story. This is a story my dad told me when I was 6 years old. Dad said, "In the beginning, the very, very beginning, nobody used words. When people had something to say, they sang. Everyone and everything sang. Pebbles had singing voices, each and every blade of grass. Mountains, they were the ones with the big bass voices, and cows had perfect pitch. So did all the rest of us. You know, we only started to use words after the fall." Can you imagine hearing this story as a 6-year-old birthday bedtime story? Just that morning, you've fallen off your new two-wheeler bicycle in the street. You were singing when you did. And now your dad, he's telling you about singing and paradise and falling. Paradise, it was a time in which everyone was satisfied. There weren't any secrets. There were no wars. There were no quarrels between older brothers and younger sisters, between husbands and wives. Now, the reason for this is that we all lived in obedience to the laws of our Creator, who was God the Father. That is the real reason that everyone sang. That's what I was doing when I fell off my bicycle. I was singing. I had taken my favorite song for a ride on my new two-wheeler. There we were, cruising. We were going up and down the sidewalk at 120 Colonial Place, New Rochelle, New York. I was singing at the top of my lungs. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. All of a sudden, out of the bushes comes my older brother Barry and his friend, the ugly Georgie McGuire. They're on their two-wheelers with the big fat balloon tires, and they cut right in front of me, and they jump the curb. They're heading down Colonial Place. They're going towards 2nd Avenue. That's where Georgie lives. They stick their tongues out at me. Catch us if you can, you sissy. I don't even think twice, because I got my own bike. I turn that bike around, and I just head out over the curb after him. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day. Bam! Paradise was a garden. Now, into this garden one day came a snake. Beautiful, shining, silver. Snake went slithering through those singing blades of grass, and just to show you how well everybody got along in paradise, this snake sees a beautiful young woman by the name of Eve and just wraps himself around her like a stole and sings in her ear. Snake's got a secret. Eve's eyes light up. What woman isn't interested in a secret? Well, standing nearby is a handsome man by the name of Adam. This is Eve's husband. He goes running over and Snake sings in his ear. Snake's got a secret. Adam's eyes, they light up too. What more does a snake need? He just unwraps himself, starts slithering through those singing blades, gets to the center of the garden, and he turns. Snake, he's heading toward the tree that grows right there in the center. This is a special tree, a forbidden tree. This is the tree that nobody is supposed to touch, the fruit of which no one is supposed to eat.
Why is nobody supposed to eat it, Dad?
Because God the Father has said so.
But why has he said that, Dad?
Because God the Father is testing his children.
But why is he doing that, Dad?
Because God the Father, he's going to see if his children are obedient to his laws.
My stomach, it starts hurting.
like the way it hurt when I went out over the curb after Barry and Georgie. I mean, I went out over the curb and then all of a sudden, I was in the air. And I did this huge belly flop on the pavement. I hit here. My mouth, it went wide open. My song, it was gone. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't make a sound. I couldn't do anything. I was so scared. And the next thing I know, there's my older brother Barry standing on the curb looking down at me in the street, and he says, "Good job, sissy." That was when I started crying, because lying next to me on the street is my new two-wheeler, and you should see that front fender. You should see the scratch on it. Barry sees it. He grabs that bike and he hides it in the bushes. And then I sneak into the house. I sneak into my mom and dad's bedroom, and I go up to her drawer and I open the top part because that's where she's got her lipsticks. And I take the lipsticks and I stuff them in my pocket. And then out there in the bushes, I take the lipsticks and I start to paint the fender. Because that way, nobody's going to see. Nobody's going to know what's happened.
You do want to know what the snake did, though, Julie, don't you?
Yes, Dad.
The snake, he goes out along the branch after he wraps himself around the tree. You see, the snake, he's heading toward a golden globe of fruit dangling at the end. Now, that snake, he gets up close, he stops, opens up his snake's mouth, the tongue comes out, and snake takes a bite. Oh, the body of the snake glows as that golden globe of fruit travels down inside. Next time, snake opens up his mouth, a word comes out. Snake says, "Good." Eve sees this good word come out. She's never seen, she's never heard a word before. Well, she doesn't think twice, runs over to that same golden globe of fruit, opens up her mouth, her tongue comes out, and Eve, she takes herself a bite. Oh, her body glows. Awesome. Adam, he's never seen an awesome word before. He runs. He takes what's left of that golden globe of fruit and he stuffs it in his mouth. More. Eve and Adam see that word and run toward another golden globe of fruit, and they start taking more bites. Now, every time they swallow, their body glows. Then, when they open up their mouth, a word comes out. These words, they're all different shapes. They're all different sizes. They're all different colors. Why, they start to spread themselves out like a blanket, and they start covering up the singing blades of grass. Then, the words start piling up, one on top of the other, till by the late afternoon, we've got words piled so high you can hardly see the top of the tree. growing in the center of the garden. By evening, words have reached the foot of the big bass voice mountain. Nighttime comes. Adam and Eve, they're tired of talking. They close their mouths and they close their eyes. They go to sleep. What do? They dream about singing. Next morning, they get up, they stretch, they open up their mouths, and words. That's what comes out. Do you know that it has been like that ever since? When people aren't eating, they're talking. And that is the real way that words got born, and singing, our natural way of communication, it just stopped.
Dad, does that mean if Eve didn't eat the fruit, we wouldn't have any words at all?
That's right.
Dad, that's silly. You know, I'm glad she ate it.
Young lady, that first act of disobedience, do you know it's been responsible for a lot of pain, for wars, for hardship in our world.
It was at this point in my dad's story I remember distinctly my stomach stopped hurting. Now, it stopped hurting because I had stopped listening to my dad. I was thinking, big thoughts for a 6-year-old. I was thinking, we sing in our house all the time, and I love singing, but words, that's what I talk to my friends with. And my dad, he tells me all of these things that I shouldn't do that I like doing.
Young lady, since this is your birthday, I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. Now, you have an unusually large mouth for a 6-year-old. It's a great asset if you're going to become a singer, but a big mouth can get you into lots of trouble. So, my birthday wish for you, Julie, is I hope you learn to use your big mouth well. It's getting late. Time for you to get to bed. So, happy birthday and good night.
Night, Dad.
And Julie, don't forget to say your prayers.
Yes, Dad. God bless my mom and my dad, my older brother Barry, and my baby sister Mary Jo and Aunt Aggie and Aunt Grace and our dog Kim, and God bless me. God, would you bless Eve? You know, I'm glad she ate the fruit.
my dad says, all three of our children, that is, Barry, Julie, and Mary Jo, sang before they spoke a word. The reason for this is my wife, Catherine, and I sang to each of our children from the moment they were born. Why, you can raise a natural singer in your own household if you want to. You don't have to be a singer with a capital S. My wife, Catherine, she wasn't, but I gave her lessons. She did particularly well, singing the songs she remembers from her own childhood. My mama, she had a song for every day of the week, and she had one for each season. The wintertime, first snowflakes. The kids would rush to the living room window. We'd press our fingers and our noses up against the window pane watching. Mama come up. She put her arms around the three of us, and then we'd sing. See the pretty snowflakes falling from the sky, o'er the roof and hilltop, soft and thick they lie. Falling, falling, falling from the sky, pure white snowflakes, soft and thick they lie. We had a song for every occasion. There were work songs. There were food songs. At that time growing up, we had a favorite story, The Little Engine That Could. Everybody knows the little engine that can huff, puff, pull the freight cars up the side of the mountain. Well, because we loved the little engine so much and hated stewed prunes for breakfast so much, my dad told us, stewed prunes, why, that's the coal that you shovel in the mouth of the little engine. Then it has the energy to huff and puff and pull the freight cars up the side of the mountain. So there, with a bowl of stewed prunes in front of us at the breakfast table, this is what we would sing. Down by the station early in the morning, see the little puff-a-belly all in a row. See the station master turn a little handle, chug, chug, toot, toot, off we go. It was on the toot, toot part that we would open our mouths and Dad would shovel in the coal. Now, just in the event that you yourselves have difficulty still eating stewed prunes, we can all sing together, except when we get to the toot-toot part, you open your mouth. I'm gonna shovel in the coal. Are you ready? Here we go. Down by the station early in the morning, see the little puff-a-bellies all in a row. See the station master turn a little handle, chug, chug, open your mouth, in go the prune swallow. Off we go. Can you imagine how long it took 3 kids each to eat 3 stewed prunes? This was an eternally long breakfast. By the time we finished, we were ready for our morning trip to the bathroom. We were the little engine all fueled up. Now, depending on how old we were, Mom would sit us on a little potty seat or right on the toilet itself. The little engine had pulled up to the foot of the mountain and was ready to start up as we would practice our scales. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Then Mom would say, push down. We push. If we were lucky, there'd be a tinkle or a plop in the toilet. We learned you could eat anything if you could make up a song about it. Now, there isn't any one of you here who cannot sing. I don't care how old you are, or even if you're convinced you're tone deaf. I have taught hundreds of people how to sing who were convinced they could not do it on pitch. If you're sincere about singing, there are some things you're going to have to do. First, stop talking so much. Second, learn to listen. And third, you're going to have to do what I tell you to do. Obedience, it's the fundamental law of good learning. I have here a book, an essay really, that I have written on singing. It is called So You Want to Learn to Sing. Now, if most of you took this book home with you, did the exercises, you could teach yourself how to do it without the assistance of a voice teacher. I'm sorry that I cannot distribute copies to you this evening. The book, it's not published yet. But I don't want you to go away empty-handed. So, I have been thinking that we might create an experiment together this evening. And what I would like you to do is this. Imagine. Imagine that you're stranded all by yourself on a beautiful tropical island. Now, on this island, you don't have any books to read. You don't have anybody to talk to. But what you do have is time, space, and plenty of good, fresh air to breathe in. And what is the fuel of singing? Deep breaths of fresh air. So, sitting just as you comfortably are right now, what I would like you to do is this. Place your hands on your knees. Try that. Good. This is going to help support a good deep diaphragmatic breath. You're going to lean forward, blow out the breath, take one in, sit up, breathe out, relax. Now, do you know that that's the kind of breath a farmer takes naturally? To that breath, you add the opening so that the sound can come out. Let's try it. Opening, and to the opening, a lift to give the sound warmth, a smile, you might say, as if you're enjoying yourself on the island. Now, I'd like to suggest something to you, and it's this. The way you look, it's the way you sound. So if you're looking like this, that's the way you're going to sound. So let's have a nice, generous opening. Oh, good. Good, good. All right, now through that opening comes the sound itself. And we're going to take a simple sound on a single pitch, the fundamental sound of ah. But let's take that deep breath in, big opening, and let that sound fly. Are you ready? It's pretty good.
Pretty good. Some of you are thinking a little bit more about what your neighbor thinks of you than you are the sound. And I'd like to remind you of something. A bad note, sung with conviction, is worth hundreds of little notes that you can hardly hear that are perfectly made. So let's sing it with conviction. Can we hear that note again for ah? Deep breath and yes. You are ready now for a full musical phrase. The phrase is this: I love to sing. Let me demonstrate it for you. I love to sing. Are you ready? I love to sing. Good. Very good. This has been a fine and exceptional first lesson. Now, you don't want to forget what we have learned this evening. So, this is what you should do. Tomorrow, first thing in the morning, get up, go into the bathroom, lock the door so that nobody disturbs you, put the toilet seat down, sit there, and bellow away. Well, we'll end our lesson together in this way, if you will. I would like you all to stand, if you will, please, because this is what we're going to do. We are going to sing together that phrase, I love to sing, as the first chorus must have sounded when we all lived in harmony together in paradise. I love to sing. The note, please. And I love to sing. Excellent. You may sit down. My dad says, do what is important. Don't waste your time and your life on unimportant things. My dad is 88 years old. How old am I? You're 88, Dad. Are you sure? Well, yes, Dad. It says so in your driver's license. I don't have a driver's license anymore. That doctor, he took it away without my permission, and that's not right. How old are you? I'm 50, Dad. Are you that old? Well, it's still not too late. Too late for what, Dad? For a career at the Met. I've been thinking, you and that fellow, what's his name? It's Paul, Dad. You and that fella, you ought to move from Virginia to New York City. Get yourself a good singing coach, bone up on your languages, get plenty of sleep at night, prepare yourself for a fall audition at the Met. Oh, Dad, Paul hates cities, you know. He'd never move to New York City. Do it yourself. You can commute. Dad, I don't like opera. There are the kinds of songs you can sing. Art songs, oratorios. Why, there are plenty of opportunities for popular singing in New York City. Now, I have been listening to you, and your voice sounds as if you've had some training.
Oh, well, yes, Dad. Don't you remember? I studied with you for 5 years.
You did? Well, it's no wonder I think you belong in the Met. Now, you've got a good 20 years of singing ahead of you. But get started. Don't waste any more time.
I visit my dad, every 2 months. Travel north on Route 81 and then go east on the New York Thruway and stop at Little Falls, New York. That's where he now lives. Dad uses a walker he has for 10 years, so he does not get around very much. But his thoughts and our conversations, why, they change a great deal from visit to visit. Christmas a year ago, my dad told me he'd been doing his breathing exercises and practicing his singing every day.
Times are tough. Money, it's tight. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to last me. So I have been thinking I would do some performing again. Now, Little Falls, it's not New York City, but there's the Elks Club down at the end of the park. And over on East Main Street, the Best Western Motel. They can hire a piano. I can sing for the people that come to the restaurant on weekends. The only trouble is I don't have the right clothes anymore. I need some new trousers, some shoes. Someone's gonna have to drive me around. That doctor who took my license away without my permission.
Dad, I think people in Little Falls would love to hear you sing.
You do? Well, I've been boning up. You see this book? It's all about singing, and I wrote it. But I couldn't remember what I wrote in it. So I've been reading this book, doing the exercises, and I think it has helped me a great deal. Do you know this book?
Oh, yes, Dad. I know that book. Did you look at the close-ups of the singer's mouth in the book? That's my big mouth, Dad.
It is. I'd forgotten. Well, I want you to listen to this recording and tell me what you think.
Without a song, the day would never end. Without a song, the road would never bend.
I think you have a beautiful, rich, resonant voice, Dad.
You wouldn't kid me, would you?
No, Dad, I wouldn't kid you. I saw my dad 3 weeks ago. I arrived in Little Falls late at night, and sometimes when I do, my dad has difficulty understanding who has come to visit him exactly. How's your singing, Dad?
Singing? Oh, I'm not doing much singing.
Why's that?
I don't have the urge inside. You know, to sing, you have to have the feeling inside you. Someone to sing for. Lately, I've been thinking that I wish I would die. Now, I don't know if I should be thinking like that, but that's what I am thinking. I've been singing a long time. I made my debut when I was 5 years old at the Mitchell School, a one-room schoolhouse a mile from our farm in Butler, Pennsylvania. Miss Kesey, the teacher, would arrange a program on Memorial Day and invite all the parents to come. Miss Kesey, oh, how I loved that woman. She would board at our farm during the school year, teach all the grades. She is the one who asked me to sing 3 songs. Sleep, my child, my little. Do you know what they're going to put on my tombstone? They will say, "Here lies a man who kept on learning and taught himself how to sing." I have a confession to make. When I was a very young man, I made myself a promise. I promised myself I would never grow old. I forgot. Well, you've been a good listener, and I feel a great love for you. But before you go, will you tell me something? Who are you? It's your daughter, Julie, Dad. Julie. Julie. Yes. You sound. And you know, I think you look just like a Portman. Well, good night, Julie.
Good night, Dad.
Julie!
Yes, Dad?
Don't forget your prayers.
Yes, Dad.
I lift mine eyes, the clouds grow thin. I see a blue above it, and day by day the pathway clears, since first I learned to love it. The peace of God restores my soul, a fountain ever springing. All things are mine since I am loved. How can I keep from singing?
To order a DVD or video of this program, call 1-800-876-2447 or visit our website at www.chiptaylor.com.